Hey guys! Welcome back to the Somewhere Library. This is the third time I'm trying to say the Somewhere Library without making a mistake. Okay. So, today's video is about those authors that are an automatic buy for me. Like, authors that whatever they come up with, I'm gonna buy, even though it's a premise I am not interested in. So, without further ado, let's just jump into the video. So the first author I want to talk about is Taylor Jenkins Reid. I don't have any of her books, like physically. I've heard them all in audiobooks through my Script subscription. The narrations were amazing, so if you're interested, please go and check them out because they're amazing. I'm gonna leave you the pictures of the books here. So, first book I read by her was The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and honestly, that book was amazing. It's about this woman who is so famous. It's like a Marilyn Monroe if you please for us to understand each other. So it's written in such a realistic way that when they say we should that movie, you're gonna go and Google it and find more about that stuff. It's such a great book that you just want to know more about what they are talking about in the book. So yeah, it's great. Then I also read Daisy Jones and the Six, which was even better than The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This one is actually gonna be one of my favorite books of this year, and this one follows a fictional rock band from the 70s and is composed by Daisy Jones and a previous existing band called The Six, and it's told in interview format, so the audiobook for this one is incredible. And it's about how they became famous and what happened for them to have this huge thing that broke them apart. So yeah. And the other book I have read by this author, I've talked about this book in the channel before, and it's Forever Interrupted. And this one is about a widow. It's completely different from the other ones, and it's not following like famous people. It's following a regular person. And it's incredible how the author deals in such a manner with the grief and all those feelings. So yeah, definitely go and check Taylor Jenkins Reid. So I am on my way of checking all the books that Taylor Jenkins Reid comes up with. But until that happens, I'm gonna be reading her past stuff. I think I'm gonna read one that it's about a couple who got married and then decided to go apart for a year. I don't remember the title. So yeah, I'm gonna leave the picture of the book here. So yeah, Taylor Jenkins Reid, first author. Next author I'm gonna be talking about today is Cassandra Clare. So I have all her books here in my background. I have these two which are on the other library. So these one are from the Magisterium series. I have the first two mini books, then I have this one in the Spanish edition, this one in the in the UK edition. Yeah, so a mess. So Cassandra Clare is an automatic yes for me, because it's one of the first authors that made me realize that YA and urban fantasy was a thing. So yeah, so let's talk about these ones first, and then let's go into the Shadowhunter Chronicles, which are longer. So the Magisterium series is co-authored with Holly Black, who is also a very big author in the YA world. I know she brought The Cruel Prince, because I have it on there. So they co-authored these books, and they are kind of like a Harry Potter theme book, if you please. They follow Callum, who is the chosen one, maybe he's not. It has a really interesting tweet. Very cool middle grade. Highly recommend these ones. I'm gonna leave them here. Let's take the Coliseum away. I'm gonna leave these two here. Magisterium. Yeah. Then yay. Then let's talk about her other series, which is the Shadowhunter Chronicles. So first series with the Shadowhunter Chronicles was this one, The Mortal Instruments. It cannot go beyond there. So The Mortal Instruments, I think actually, funny enough, the covers for books 1 and 2, this is 1, this is 2, are changed in the Spanish edition with the American edition. So yeah, that happened. So the mortal instruments follow Clary, and I think was a great introduction into the whole Shadowhunter world. This follows people who are Nephilim and they have angel blood, and they got some tattoos that gave them magic. So yeah. So in this one, in this first trilogy, they look for the mortal instruments, which are a cup, a mirror, and a sword. And yeah, there's a bad guy, and it's cool. Yeah, that might be the worst possible synopsis of the mortal instruments in the entire world. But yeah, so this one, the mortal instruments, is 6 books long. Then she wrote this one that I'm taking entirely out because I read this book, which was the first one, which is Clockwork Angel, and I really love it. I thought it was amazing, had so much fun reading it, that it led me to buy my first English book in my entire life, which was this one. Yeah, funny enough, I was in a bookshop with my dad, saw this one, was in English, have never ever read the book in English, I was learning English still, and yeah, bought the book and read it entirely. This was first published in some long ago time, up to 14, first edition 2011, which was 7 years ago. I was around 14 or so. Yeah, I was around 14 or so, and this was the first book I read in English. It took me like a month and a half to read this book, but I really enjoyed it, and I think this was the turning point for me in which I decided to learn English, to be able to read books earlier rather than wait for them to be translated. Then I bought this one because I couldn't wait, and bought the softcover, the paperback. I have a tendency to invent words, as you might have noticed. Then of course we have the Magnus Bane Chronicles, which I have ebook. Don't particularly like those ones. We also have the collection of short stories following Simon, Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy, and my personal favorite out of all her trilogies, which is The Dark Artifices, being this one, an absolute masterpiece. I never mark quotes in books, but I did with this one. I just marked 2 parts of it that I really like. And this edition is particularly gorgeous because it has this other alternative cover to it. So yeah, and then she published along with Wei Chu, what's his name? With Wesley Chu. This one, The Red Scrolls of Magic, which I didn't particularly enjoy. I gave it 2 stars. So yeah, but the thing is, I'm gonna buy whatever Cassandra Clare comes up with because I really tend to enjoy her books. I'm realizing lightning might be shitty because it's raining outside, so it's kind of dark. So next author I'm gonna talk about, if you may have noticed there's a book missing there, so it's because I put it down. So it's this one, The Name of the Wind. I have sorry, I have other editions, and let me put them out. This one is the Spanish edition, which is the normal cover. This one is the 10th anniversary edition. And I'm just happy because I learned that he's publishing, apparently, on the 20th of August of next year, the final part of this book. But basically, this one, The Name of the Wind, follows, the Kingslayer Chronicles follow Quoth, who is a guy who has some legends surrounding him, and he's telling his story in 3 days. So you have book 1, which is day 1 of him telling his story, which is this one. Then book 2, which is over there, and I'm not taking out, sorry. And then book 4. Then he also wrote a I think it's called The Slow Regard of the Silence. But I have the Spanish edition for it as well. So, yay. And that one follows Audrey, who is a character from these books. Yeah. So yeah, Patrick Rothfuss, he's my favorite author. This is my favorite book of the entire world. So yeah, please go and read it and check it out, because he has a very whimsical way of writing, and the story is structured in a very, very interesting way, and you go back and forth in time, which you're gonna notice is something I really, really like. So yeah, so the next author I'm gonna be talking about is Sabata here, and I really, really, really like her. So I have only read her Ember in the Ashes Unported. I have one book missing because it has not been published yet, but I was so enamored with this trilogy, Quartet, with these 3 books, that I'm reading whatever she comes up with next. So this one has an amazing world building, incredible characters, great development of those characters, and what's blowing my mind is that this book was great. This book was even better, and this one tops 2, and you're like just like, BAM! So yeah, read Sabata here. Sorry, I never talk that much. Lying, I do talk that much. And yeah, the last author I want to talk about today is an author that I have met in person, and he's so extremely nice. He's European. I think he's the only European from the list, and sorry, and I'm gonna show you all his books. So first book I read by him was this one. I think all of them have been published in English. So this one is The Truth About the Harry Quebert Affair, and it got a TV show with Patrick Dempsey on it. What else do you need? Great thing about this book, and in general about this author, is how he plays with going back and forth in time in the story. So this one is a thriller. I'm gonna go first through his thrillers. This one, which I think was translated to The Book of the Baltimore. I mean, I'm gonna tell you the titles in French, because probably it sounds better than the title I'm making up with. I am making up. I think it's, yeah, Le Livre de Baltimore. This one is thriller. It's kind of companion to Les Vérités sur le Harry Quebert Affair. And this one is his other thriller, and it was called La Desaparición de Stephanie Meigler. This one was great, blow my mind. It's a huge book. Yeah, so thriller. Common thing on all these thrillers is that he's going back and forth in time, and you're getting the story from the past, the story from the present, and you're solving the story from the present from the story of the past, which is a mystery to you too. So great. And the other books, 2 books I have by him, this was the first book he published, which is called Les derniers jours de nos pères. Sorry, my French is awful. So this one is set, I think you remember, in World War II, and it's about some Englishmen and Frenchmen that infiltrated into the Nazi ranks, and it was so sad, so heartbreaking, and so amazing. So please go check this one out, because it's incredible, but it's heartbreaking. And this one, the last one, this one was the first thing he presented to a contest or anything like for that matter, and it's called Le Tigre, and it's a short story. It's also historical fiction, and it's set in Russia in the days before the revolution, and it's about a village looking for a tiger. And it's so well written that he said he could have not written this when he had the age. I think he was like around 19 or so. Like, and the woman from the contents, he presented this book to him. I don't believe you have written this, but look at the bright side. If you have indeed write this, you're gonna be a great author someday, and you're for sure gonna be fabulous. So yeah. So please, if you haven't checked your liquor yet, go and do so. So that's pretty much all. That was long. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please let me know some of the authors you are like crazy about and you are sure you're gonna buy whatever they come up with. And see you all in the next video. Bye bye!